Hello and welcome to our last video. In this, we are going to be dealing with background images. We can apply background images to pretty much any box. So we can apply it to the wrapper, we can apply it to our header. So I'm going to go back. We could apply it to the backgrounds of our header 2s. So we can apply it to any number of places. And for this, I actually have a separate little exercise. I would like you to play around with it. It's not going to be required to turn in, but I want you to see what's going on. So I have a separate set of files created just for this that I'm going to go ahead and open up right now. Okay, I have that file opened up and I've just created a blank HTML document and put a style in here that will affect the body. And I have some things commented out and I will be turning them on and off just so you can see what their effects are. The first thing that I need to point out that's really important is by default, when you apply an image to a background, it will automatically tile. And by that, I mean it will repeat across left to right and top to bottom. So it's really important that you find images or create images that will tile seamlessly, meaning that you won't see the little edges so that you can determine, oh, this had, this was a square image and I can see what it is. That's the first example that I have to show you. I've intentionally found an image that does not tile. So I'm going to do a little preview out in the browser so we can take a look at this. Notice we have edges right here. This does not tile neatly. We can see each little box that's in here all the way across. And that's really annoying as a viewer at a website to see that. So we don't want to do that. This is what all images do by default. So because we know exactly what this image looks like, right? So if we go back and I'm going to comment this first one out and show you the second image. All right, I now have it commented out and we have this other image. This one is set up so that it tiles, which means we can't see the exact edge. So I'm going to save this, go back out to my web browser and refresh this page. This is all made up of one little image and it goes across to the right and it goes across to the bottom, just like the other image. And so you can see, yes, it repeats over and over and over again. And this one's fairly clear to see where the repeat is. But the thing that might surprise you, and let's go find that image, is if we go out to the file, this is what this image looks like. You can see the little splash pieces are split up so that they line up exactly. The sunglasses are split so that they line up. So when they keep repeating, you don't see a line between each and every one. That is the kind of background that we want to have. The other thing that we can do with background images is we can determine how we want them to repeat. For example, let me just uncomment this and comment that out. We're going to still work with this summer image, and this time we're going to say we don't want it to repeat at all. Because remember, by default, it's going to repeat across the left to right and top to bottom. But we don't want it to repeat at all. So we are going to say background-repeat, no repeat. And go out here and refresh. There is our image. And this works really well if you want a large background image that's going to take up a picture. There's other properties, which I'm not going to go into, where you can do fixed backgrounds. And so you can basically place them and fill up the screen or fill up a part of the screen, and then they don't move and you don't want them to repeat. You just want one instance of it. Other thing that you can do is you can make it repeat across the x-axis and the y-axis. So I'm just going to have it go across the x. So this one, yes, it harkens back to our math classes. And if you remember, the x-axis goes across left to right. It's horizontal. So I'm going to go back out here and refresh. And so we can have things repeat across. This works really well if you're trying to do things like menus, navigation bars, where you have maybe a small image and you want it to repeat all the way across. Headers is another good place to use these. You'll find other uses as well, but this is how you repeat it across the x-axis. And then, of course, the last one is repeating it across the y-axis, which means we're repeating it top to bottom. So I'm going to save this and refresh this. So now we can repeat it top to bottom down the left-hand side. We could also move it and position it so that it does this down the right-hand side. I'm not going to go into that. I just really wanted to show you some capabilities that we can do with our background images. So I'm going to go back to our website and I want to put a background image on here. I am going to go into my styles because I already have body set up. So I just need to add an image to it. And I already have an image created. I know that it tiles because I'm going to have this one repeat all the way across. So I'm going to add background image. I'm going to select browse. And all right, so I'm just going to navigate to my image. Let's get out to the right file. And in my images folder, it's the one creatively named background. And there it is, and I'll just put my semicolon at the end. I do tend to leave a background color there just in case the image decides not to render, that there is still at least some sort of color there. So I'm going to save that, and we're going to go take a look at our web page. So I'm going to refresh. So there it is. It's kind of just an abstract background that goes all the way across. Now my website is as far as it's going to go for this week. Consider yourself very well accomplished. And if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.